get their best win of the season today, winning against the Minnesota Lynx 87-81 in their first win over a team with a winning record on the season. We're going to talk about it all and more, but first, we got to play our intro.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Hayes.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chicago Sky Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today, y'all. My bad, y'all, on that one. Like I said, I'll fix it in the post. But the Chicago Sky get their biggest one of the season, 87-81, and the Chicago Sky in this game just came out with the energy that they have been lacking for so much in this season. And I think that was the big part of this. Like, the Sky came out in this game and they just understood how and the way that they needed to play the game of basketball from the start. And that was something that the Sky have struggled with, like slow starts at times. And I really think that the Sky caught the Lynx off guard a little bit with how they came into this game. The Sky started off this game with such energy that I really think the Lynx, not to say that the Lynx weren't necessarily prepared, even though in our last game against the Minnesota Lynx, the Sky got out to a 12-point lead in that game too, but it was the execution in this game. The Chicago Sky came out to this with just much better execution offensively through the first half of this game. It fell off a little bit after the third quarter, which is something that's starting to be typical with the Chicago Sky, but it just, the energy that they started this game off with, the level of focus that they started this game off with, it really changed the outcome of it. And it just made it easier for the Sky to play as a team throughout the entirety of this game. The third quarter was the worst quarter by far, but the Sky won the first quarter 29-23, 28-21 in the second quarter. But this was a game where at the start of it, right, the offense that the Sky were running, it just seemed like Tyler Marsh, whether it be through familiarity or whatever else, just ran a much better offensive scheme in the first half of the game. Didn't necessarily maintain throughout the game, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. But I want to focus on that energy that they came out with, because it was a level of confidence being in their home building, as well as effort on both sides of the ball, that really allowed the Chicago Sky to get out to that early lead and catch the Lynx off guard a little bit. Early in this game, it was Rachel Banham, Angel Reese, and Ariel Atkins. They're the ones that really came out with the energy early in this game. By the end of the first half, Kamilla Cardoso had 9 points as well, and she started getting involved in the game also. And once those four players really got into that rhythm, it was an offense that we have not seen really at all for this team throughout the most of it. And it was just really good to see that. And that just goes to show, like, the Sky can have a really good offense. Now, I'm not saying that we have the skill or the talent to have one of the top offenses in the league, but they do have enough talent, especially when the shots are falling, to be able to, with their defense and the energy that they can play with defensively, to be able to stay in games. And that's what the Sky are going to have to continue to double down on. That's what they're going to have to continue to work on for this team, is just getting that offensive flow, being connected, staying together on that offensive side of the ball. If you can do that, things look a lot differently for the Chicago Sky. But to start this game off, Ariel Atkins led the team in scoring at least. I think Angel led them in energy, but Ariel Atkins, 27 points, going 12 of 21 from the field. She only got to the free throw line 2 times in this game for 27 points, but it was good to see Ariel Atkins in attack mode. She got into attack mode so many times in this game, where whether she was coming off screens, whether she had the ball in her hands and just was barreling her way to the rim, she just was playing with a level of aggression that we have not consistently seen from Ariel Atkins so far in this one. And it was good to see her lock in that way, and it really made a big difference for the Chicago Sky in this one. Having Ariel Atkins 27 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block in this game. She did have 4 turnovers. The Sky did not take care of the ball as well as I would have wanted to in the second half of this game, but Ariel Atkins, in the scoring punch that she gave the Chicago Sky team, was really good, and she did it without getting to the free throw line a whole bunch of times. Ariel Atkins, one of her best games of the season so far for the Chicago Sky, and you cannot take anything away from Ariel in that way. But Angel Reese was the energy for this team. Despite her passing up a mid-range shot, a wide-open mid-range shot, there was almost no flaws in Angel's game, or the turnovers too. She only had 3 turnovers in the first half. She finishes the game with 6 turnovers, but 19 points, going 8 of 14 from the field, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals in this game. Angel brought the energy. And it was almost like Angel Reese understood that she was going up against Collier, who she had to bring it every single minute. You have to force Collier to guard you and to respect you on both sides of the ball. Angel did that today, and she did it extremely well. Just the way that Angel operated as a point forward. And now that Angel's starting to catch that rhythm, point forward wise, we're seeing her take players off the dribble. We're seeing her try, like, she did a hezzy step back today for a mid-range shot. That's why I was so disappointed when she didn't take the wide open midi, because she was shooting with such confidence today that you felt it. It was a different Angel Reese out there. And since Tyler Marsh has gone to using her as the point forward, it's really not only opened her game, but it's opened up the game for everybody else and really made it easy, as we don't have an actual point guard on this roster. So that was really good to see from Angel Reese. Kamilla Cardoso, though, after coming into the game and initially being a little too passive, by the end of the first half, she had 9 points and like 6-7 rebounds, something like that. She finishes the game with 17 points, 15 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover. And one of the key things in this game for Kamilla was that she went 7 of 9 from the free throw range. 7 of 9. And that's what Kamilla can do. When Kamilla Cardoso is active, and she's gonna put people. She's gonna get to the free throw line just by her being active. That's why you need a Kamilla Cardoso that's locked in. You have to have her locked in. If she's not locked in, it's gonna be very difficult for her to consistently impact the game of basketball. But when Kamilla was locked in like she was today, she's damn near unstoppable. And that's just, and I don't use that by hyperbole. She's damn near unstoppable. She got into a rhythm both offensively and defensively today, just took her game to another level. And once Kamilla put that pressure on the opposing team, like I said, offensively and defensively, it was a different game for the Chicago Sky. Now, everything was not all sunshine and rainbows. We'll get into Rachel Banham's game a little bit here in a second, but again, another bad third quarter for the Chicago Sky. Another bad third quarter. They lost that third quarter 23-16, and it really put the Minnesota Lynx back in a position to try to win this game. Now, we end up tying the fourth quarter 14-14, so the Chicago Sky win 2 quarters. They lose one. They tie another one. They end up getting a 6-point victory in this game, but this is why you got to play a full 4 quarters of basketball. The Sky are really going to have to lock in and find a way to be more consistent over the entirety of the game, because if they don't do that, it's going to be bad. But, the third quarters have been a thing for the Chicago Sky. They're not going to stop anytime soon. They haven't stopped yet. It's unfortunate. You want to look at coaching and things to get that underway, but it's not going to be perfect. We're not a perfect team. Like I said, this was our first win over an above 500 team for the entirety of the season. So you can only play so perfect when you haven't beat above 500 teams. But Rachel Banham, I want to give some credit to Rachel. She took 13 shots today, only hit 4 of them. It is what it is there. But she got 12 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds in this game. And ever since Rachel Banham has gotten to the point of kind of understanding her job out there is to shoot, right? And now I say that she got 5 assists. She led the team in assists today, but she really understood and hit some big shots for this team and didn't try to do too much. And that's what you want from Banham. 0 turnovers from Rachel Banham today. So as much as we had 17 turnovers as a team, she was one of only 3 players that checked into this game that did not have a turnover. And so you got to give Rachel Banham credit. She didn't shoot the ball like hugely effectively. 3 of 7 from 3-point range isn't terrible, but it just, it is what it is. Like, Rachel Banham played a really good game today, and I want to give her credit for the way that she played. I don't want to crap on her because I think her role, she's starting to understand that, or either it's Tyler Marsh really starting to understand how to use that personnel better. And that gets us to the next part. Tyler Marsh coached a pretty good game today. The second half left something to be desired, and I want to be clear there. But I think overall, when you saw Tyler Marsh getting upset with calls, the challenge that he decided to call, and just kind of trying to calm down the team and himself down at times, all those things were needed. It wasn't perfect. I'm going to be clear here, it wasn't perfect. But it's good to see that that Tyler Marsh is starting to get this team all on the same page, and that's really what the Sky are going to need if they're going to turn this thing around. I said it after our last game when we got a dub, is that with 2 games against the Minnesota Lynx, this was the first of 2. We play them again still at home on Monday. With this being the first of 2 games, if the Sky can win both these games and they can turn around and now win Wednesday, you now are on a 3-game winning streak after being the team with the best record in the WNBA 2 times. And that could be the momentum shift that the Chicago Sky need. This is our 20th game of the season. We're now officially halfway through the season. And so, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a very hard uphill battle for the Chicago Sky to try to fight in this one if they want to try to turn this season around. But here's the thing. We've seen it before. We've seen the teams be able to catch their rhythm midway through the season, and maybe the Sky are catching that rhythm finally. Now, they got to show and prove it. We can't say anything right now. We can't say anything for sure right now when it comes down to it. But the Sky are starting to look like a better team. They're starting to actually look like a team. And that's not something that we've been able to say for the entirety of the year. They have not looked that good as a team all season long. Now, they're looking better. They're looking much better when it comes down to it. And they're fighting and competing together. And you love to see that. So, we'll see what this team can end up doing. But today, best game that we've seen. They came out with the right energy. They fought hard. And you just love to see this team play the way that they do. So this was a really good game, man. Really good game. Goro says, I'm not happy with how they didn't keep feeding Angel in the second half. She still did her thing. This was a good game, but not a masterclass. Here's the thing, and this is why you can't just be a fan of a player. It wasn't their job to keep feeding the Angel. Kamilla got hot, and if you keep going to one player, guess what? That makes you stagnant. That makes the team able to know and predict what you're trying to do. Now, the lull in the third quarter is bad. Like, you can't lose the third quarter by that much, but they're not going to keep going to the same play. You have to vary that to keep a defense honest. Otherwise, they're just going to start packing it in on Angel Reese. And we've seen it before. That makes it difficult on her. So I'm not necessarily mad that they just didn't keep feeding Angel over and over and over again. They need to play better defensively. They need to limit those turnovers for sure. That's what they need to do. Angel balled out, and she kept the energy. Absolutely. Angel was the reason why the Chicago Sky had the energy they did in this game for sure. The only way this team can win is by the bigs having a great game, Ariel having a good game, and everyone else chipping in. I don't even think it's necessarily that. Like, they have to play. I said this over the last stream. The Chicago Sky, if they want to win games, they have to be the masters of the dirty work. They have to make the games ugly. They have to get into teams' heads. They have to play defensively tough. They have to be the do-it-all, get it in the mud team for the rest of the season. That's how they have to be. That has to be their identity. They have to be a team that gets it in the mud. If they don't, it's going to be difficult, because when other teams can go to skill or go to balance or things like that, the Sky don't always necessarily have that. So, but I agree. Like Angel, Kamilla, even Elizabeth Williams, she was the only player that scored off the bench for us today. Ariel Atkins has to have big games for sure. We got to get it done. We won in spite of Kia. A good game by Reese still. This was a masterclass. She played a really good game today. I love seeing the way that she played. If we stop turning the ball over, we can really be something nice. Second half of the season, the turnovers kept Minnesota in it when it should have been a blowout. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting us to blow out the Minnesota Lynx. They're a tough team on both sides of the ball. But that's what happens when you don't have a point guard. And when Angel sits down, you really don't have any guard that can run your offense superly effectively, right? You have some that can run your offense, but not really that. And that's just a makeup of this team and something that we're missing right now. I'm just happy that they actually look and play like a basketball team now. It gives me hope for the future. I feel you. Can't blame you on that one. That's true. I'm a fan of Reese, but I'm a Sky fan too. I'm happy with Atkins and Miller. Atkins didn't do us favors with some of those turnovers. Yeah, I mean, Ariel Atkins had 4 turnovers, but I mean, Angel had 4. Ariel Atkins had 4. Michaela Onwuede had 4. Rachel Banham had 3. Kia Nurse had 4. Elizabeth Williams, Kia Nurse had 0. She was one of the players that had 0. Missed that. My bad. But yeah, everybody had bad turnovers today. You got to just play better. And we got to be connected as a team to avoid those turnovers. The reason I said I needed to keep feeding Angel was she was on fire and the Lynx had no answer for us. But so while I like Reese, I also believe in riding the hot hand. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That by the time we stopped feeding her, we really can't say that was after halftime. And Kamilla was playing a lot better then, and Ariel had a hat. But I mean, listen, do I wish they would have gone to Angel more? Yes. I'm just saying you don't want to spam the Angel Reese button, if that makes sense. They need Beck Allen and Kia Nurse to be consistent. I mean, ideally you need everybody to be consistent. But the thing is with us using Kia Nurse and Becca Allen almost exclusively as shooters, right? Like Allen plays more defense, but shooters can be streaky. This is what it is. Like it's a downside to that. They did stop feeding both posts in the third and settled for jumpers. Many turned up their defense, but they got away from it. This is still a signature win, even if we had to sweat it out a bit. Yeah, I mean, we're going to sweat it out. I mean, we're just that level of team. Every win is going to be a sweat out win to a degree, right? So it is what it is when it comes down to it. Like, we didn't play perfect. We got definitely things that we can improve on in this game, even with the way that we played in this game. So, and that's what good coaching does. Good coaching isn't going to rest just on saying, hey, we won the game, we played good, we did some good things, we're great. No, you gotta always go to the drawing board and figure out some things that you can get locked in on there. And we just gotta continually tweak. Right, you have not reached any type of level yet to where you can rest on any laurels. You can rest on any type of play style. You can't even necessarily say that you found your winning style yet because we haven't done it enough. So that's what the Sky really have to continue to do, is continue to find their identity. And I know halfway through the season, you should be kind of settling into your identity, but the Sky really got to keep finding that, grinding this out. Keep in mind, even though we played the Lynx today, 2 of our next 3 games are against the Lynx. And one of those is against Atlanta between those games. So the Sky got a lot of games coming up against the Lynx, man. And this is a really good measuring stick for this team for sure. I'll be at the game Monday. I bought a ticket for Monday night game. They better have some leftover shirts as that shirt they gave away. It was a really nice shirt. Definitely a nice shirt. So, but yeah, good win by the Sky today. I'm glad that the Sky are just looking more like a basketball team. And it seems like we have more that we can build off on now than what we had before. And we just got to keep chugging away at that. Nephew Hayes, this was an awesome win over the #1 WNBA team today. AR always seems to ball out when she play in front of her protege, LL. Well, she's her protege, right? Like that's anyway, Skytown up. Yeah, I mean, listen, Angel knows how to turn it up, and Angel turns it up in some of the best moments. And I think this matchup against Collier is really a matchup that it brings the most out of it, and you love to see that. Like, Angel gets up for the big matchups, and Angel's fairly been consistent. Like I know she started off the season really rough, but Angel's really been more consistent this season than not. Even though the haters won't tell you that, they won't have that part of the conversation. Like I said before, the Angel Reese haters have been a little bit quiet lately, right? Like player of the month, cover 2K, balling out here lately. They've been kind of quiet. I wonder why that is. Why they've been so quiet lately? Why y'all think that? Why do you think they've been so quiet lately? Oh well, can't tell. It is what it is when it comes down to that. You're right, Hayes. They got to come out firing next game, same way they did. They got to come out with that. They got to come out with that energy every single game. They have to. It's like fighting game, having to play the same team so much. Happy for the expansion, as it will make repeat matchups less stale. I mean, yeah, the WNBA getting up to 18 teams, that's going to be really, really nice to see. I think a sweet spot for WNBA, if they can get up to 20 teams, that'd be really good. But build organically, take your time. Don't try to reach too far too fast. That's how things start getting messed up. And then you're going to start losing teams again. I'm excited that the Sky won this game. They started well and must learn to continue to close out games better. Yeah, they got to get those third quarters together. And that's the thing that I really do look at coaching, because to me, if you continually lose third quarters, that means that the opposing coach is going in and making better adjustments than you are. Right. And that's something that can really doom you. You got to be able to make those even when you're winning a game. Great coaches still make adjustments even when they're winning the game. They do not rest on, hey, we're winning, so we don't have to adjust. No, you got to. It's a chess match. You got to stay ahead of that chess match if you're going to be a really good coach. And Tyler Marsh still has a lot that he needs to learn for sure. Shout out to Angel critics who are becoming fans and giving her props. They are the real ones. Absolutely. Shout out to Atkins for hitting every tough shot throughout the game. Yeah, look, Ariel Atkins, this was such a great game to see from her, and I love to see that because, like I said, we don't necessarily run the offense that's best suited to her skill set. So as she's been able to adapt, it's been really fun to see her in the route that she's been going, because Ariel Atkins is a talent in this league. I'm going to talk about all the time like how she needs to score, but when Atkins is going, it was really good. And it wasn't like the Lynx didn't bring it today. Collier with 26 points. McBride had 17. You got Courtney Williams with 13. They had more bench production than we did too. Like, Elena Smith did not have the game that she had last game against us with the impact. She did have 6 steals, 2 blocks in this game as well. But, Elena Smith's one I really love to have on this team again. But, it is what it is there. Let me say that's a fact, Hayes. Absolutely, absolutely. But overall, just to kind of recap, this was a solid game by the Chicago Sky once again. Love to see this team put in the effort that they put in with. Love to see them come out in the game with the energy that they came in with. And the Sky just got to keep this up. They just got to find a way to really forge their identity. And they're going to have to be, like I've said many times, they are going to have to be a team that fights harder than the team in front of them. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win every single game by that, but you're going to have to fight. And it's really good to see Angel bring that identity to this team. And it felt like the team fed off of that. And then by the end of it, everybody was playing with that energy. Kamilla was locked in. Ariel Atkins was locked in. Rachel Banham, even at a time where like she wasn't necessarily hitting her shots at a good rate, she was locked in. The 5 assists was really key there for Rachel Banham. This team has played much better basketball. And it's not just a small sample size anymore. We're talking about 6 to 7 games of them playing better, even though they didn't win all those games. They've been playing a lot better over those games. Now, you got to win over an above 500 team. What's next? How do you continue to build off that, right? That's the important part in this. And if the Sky can continue to just build and continue to execute, you never know maybe they can turn around their season. Hello, the haters have been quiet. Angel is flourishing as a player, and with her brand, Kamilla is a sleeping giant too. The more she's aggressive, the better for us long term. That's a fact. You need both these ladies to be locked in. And, Kamilla, who had a great game before she went back, she came back off the bench. I love that Angel also gets Kamilla involved. And it seems like Angel takes pride in getting Kamilla involved in the game. And that chemistry is really important for the Skies. They continue to build this thing on out too. So, but thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm going to take a break because I got a live call the Bulls game today at 8, so I need to kind of rest my voice. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'll see you guys the next time we go to Skytown. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.